And we are live. Welcome, guys, to the PGA Pinseeker MME Strategy Show. I am your host, JSU. And, guys, if you haven't got over to Run Pure Sports, make sure you get over and check it out. We just launched 25% off Independence Day promo. So make sure you get over there. I think it was 120, and now we're giving it for 90 all the way up until August 31st. So you'll get every single sport, PGA, MMA, LOL. We had a guy hit for 35K in a LOL. So make sure you get over there, check it out. When basketball comes back, MLB, you'll get all of that all the way up until MLB, until August 31st. So just make sure you get over to runpuresports.com and sign up. But we're here to talk some PGA. I got my guy, Big T. Big T, what's going on, brother? You're at a golf tournament.
Yeah, we got our yearly golf outing. Friends, family. We've done it for probably 15, 20 years now. The winner gets a jacket, Ryder Cup style, 36 holes a day, lots of drinking, lots of cards, lots of cornhole. It's a fun time, but we got to pick some winners too. We're going to pick winners. We're going to have drinks, just like we always do on Wednesdays. The Pinseekers, like, we don't do it how they do it on Tuesdays. We're not gonna give you all those chalk guys. We're gonna give you Bryson, who's chalky for sure. We'll get into that in a minute, but we're gonna find some low-owned gems too, and that's what we do on Wednesdays.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely gonna be the contrarian bunch to the Tuesday edition, the chalk show on Tuesday. So we're gonna give that. But before, guys, if you could just hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. That really helps us out, gives us a chance to pump out this content for you. And also at Run Pure Sports, we got all our PGA content. It's all out. The core plays, you got the cash plays from Hoop and Mangone. You got the GPP cores from AP, Snyder, Big T. The tiers where we rank our favorite play at every single pricing tier, and then our favorite pivot at those tiers. And then the playbook is just so awesome. Even if you don't know anything about PGA, we just kind of rank all these golfers in each spot and then give you a little bullet notes on each golfer. So it kind of gives you the chance to kind of read up on them and make your own decisions. So make sure you get over to Run Pure Sports, check out all the content we got, because it is fire. And then Showdown, we're rocking every single Showdown slate. We got content out for it. Our guy Snyder's pumping that out. So make sure you get over there, check it out. But Tony, let's talk.
Get in this contest too. Talk about this chat contest.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I'm sorry. I have this whole rundown here, guys, and it's a sheet, literally about 100 things on the sheet. We got the RPS chat contest where we're pumping out $5 to enter, just $5, and we'll get it dropped in the we'll get the link dropped in the chat in a second. I'll do that. But it's just $5 to enter. If you win it, you get a free month of RPS, and then you get into a contest for free with all of us coordinators over at RPS. So it'll be 14 of us and you, and if you take that down, you get $100 free. You didn't have to enter. So come try and beat me and Big T. I mean, we lost last week, Big T. So I need to get back. I need to get back up, because I, for one, was really happy about what we gave out on this show last week. It was, I'm not going to say it was like awesome, like the perfect, we could have, done a little better, but locking in Victor Hovland, we talked about locking in Victor Hovland, and yes, everyone loved Victor Hovland, but we literally talked about hitting the lock button on him. I was proud about that, because a lot of people were going overweight on him, but not a lot of people hit that lock button on guys, especially in PGA, because it's just so hard. If that guy misses the cut, you're literally sitting there with so many lineups dead. So, I mean, I like the stands we took. I'm also a little mad because I got suckered into not playing my guy, Phil Mickelson, who I loved, and I got suckered out of it, and it was my fault. And I don't blame Tony, but I do blame Tony.
Well, what do you
So
get participation trophies for being good after Friday? Like, I didn't know we got participation. This is
he
like a
was
Tuesday night.
6,900.
Tuesday night people take victory laps about Friday leading. I mean, come on. Like, we don't take victory laps for being good before the weekend.
I'm taking victory lap because he was 6,900 and put up, I don't even know, 80
He
something,
wasn't
90
in the
points.
winner. Like, you got to
Oh,
be better. We
jeez.
demand better, JSU. We could have had
All right,
Streel Daddy. If you would have talked about Streel Daddy, I mean, it was a week late. If you had talked about him, we'd
you
have been
said
golden.
Shrill Daddy. You said you brought him up, and then you didn't play him.
I know.
I thought you were gonna ship it. I thought you had him, but we're gonna get it this week, guys. Let's start at the top, Tony, because what we want to do in this show is we want to kind of break down this entire slate, but we also want to kind of give you guys a sneak peek into how we kind of work through our player pool. For our MME, specifically for like the Millie Maker and the large field tournaments that DraftKings and FanDuel has for us. So that's mainly what we're going to be talking about, strategy for those contests while we break these guys down. So let's break down the 10K guys, Tony, and let's first talk about the GOAT in the room, Bryson.
Yeah, Big Daddy Bryson, the whale, whatever you want to call him. He hasn't even played good. He's finished top 10, all 3 events. I think like 8 events in a row or something, top 10. Hasn't even played good yet. Now he gets a course with 4 par 5s. He can bomb it a little more. The rough, I hear the rough is pretty thick. But, I mean, even if he's up there around the green in the rough, I'd rather be up there chipping than hitting a wedge or a 9-iron from $140, $150 out in the fairway. So I'm good with it. Everyone's talked about how he's going to be massive chalk. I do think he's going to be big-time chalk in the high stakes. Maybe he gets down to like 25, 30% in the Millie Maker, though, which – in Millie Maker and below, like the 20 max stuff that we love to talk about, the $4, the $3, 20 max. I think we could get him 25 to 30%, which, yeah, is super chalky. But, I mean, if Webb Simpson's like 13 to 15%, which is going to be about half of Bryson. I don't know. Like, I'm just going to play Bryson. And if you can fit Webb with Bryson, like on FanDuel, maybe you can. DraftKings, it's going to be a lot harder to do that. But maybe you do that. I mean, Bryson is just the guy that I think we've talked a bunch leading into the show. He's just the best golfer in the world to me right now. I know that a lot of people will argue with that. They'll say he's not. It doesn't matter to me. I think he's the best. I think he's going to have a monster year, and I don't think we realize how good he is yet. So I'm just going to keep playing him, especially at this track, especially at the tracks where he can really hit driver. I'm just going to take my chances. I'm definitely going all in on Bryson. Last week, I mean, I was like 70% Bryson last week. He didn't win again, but all my teams that cashed had Bryson, did just fine. And I'm just going to take my chances, definitely going all in. And it makes it a little easier because of how weak the field is. I mean, you got Webb at 11K. I like Webb Simpson, but I like him at 9,200, not 11K, where Bryson's 11. Bryson's a little expensive too, but I feel a lot more secure with him. And, I mean, Webb feels too expensive at 11K. Hatton, 10.7 is just outrageous. I mean, you look at projections around the industry, you got him projected around 15%. There's no way. Like, he can't be 15%. He's going to be 5 to 10%, I would think, for Hatton. I mean, but either way, like, I can't play Hatton. Patty Reed at 10.5 on DraftKings. Like, I'm just not paying that price. And then we get down to Hideki and Hovland, the 2 guys I do like. So it'll be Bryson for me. Fade the next 3 guys completely. Like I said, except maybe FanDuel, I could play Webb if he fits with Bryson. I'm not going to pivot. I've heard a lot of people this week say, I'm going to pivot to Webb, blah, blah, blah. Webb's going to be way lower owned. Webb's had good history at this type of track. I forget what the comparison is, but the one course that's similar, I think there's 2 courses similar. Webb has done really good, but I'm just taking my chances with Bryson. Like, I'll live and die with it if he somehow doesn't do good. And you hear these other people, not to get too turned around, but you hear other people say, like, well, how many points does he need to hit value? That's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm taking him. I think he's going to win, but say he finishes 10th and we have him locked in, our week is not going to be over. Like, we're still going to have a chance. We might not be able to win first place unless our cheap guys just totally crush, but we'll be able to make some money still if he finishes 10th, and I'm good with that because I think that's like his floor. Like 10th to 20th is his floor, basically, and I don't think that's going to kill us. So after him, though, I think it's Hideki and Hovland and M for that matter. I think I'd put all three. I hated on M last week, but that was in a tougher field as massive chalk. 1 week later, they price him up 1,000, and no one's going to play him. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about these three. But, I mean, Hovland, Hideki, M, I think they're all really good plays as your number 2 guy behind Bryson. What do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, we're on the same wavelength, at least for sure with Bryson. I'm with you. I think that he's by far the best golfer in this field. It's not even close. And you can say, well, Webb's great, but I much prefer Bryson. I think he has a better shot to win. His, he can really take out that driver. He's already talked about how he's just going to bomb it over, because he can easily do it. So it's just like he's going to get his best weapon, and he's going to be able to use it for most of the holes. I just think you have to play him. I'm going to be massively overweight, probably lock him in actually, and then just go from there. I'm not playing any Webb. I do think Webb's okay, but again, I'm with you. I want to play Webb at the 9K range. And if he's not in the 9Ks and he's in the upper 10K or 11K, I'm probably going to stay away. And then we've got Hatton, who's just took a crazy price bump, and Patty Reed and Hideki next. I like Hideki. I'm with you. I think you could make a case for Patrick Reed more on FanDuel because it's just like you said, it's so much easier to fit some of these guys in, and the build is just different. On DraftKings, I won't have any Reed. I won't have any Hatton. But Matsuyama is definitely the guy who I would look at next. Hovland, I love Hovland, but I think I'd prefer Matsuyama if I had to pick between the two. So for me, it'd be DeChambeau, Matsuyama, and then Hovland. But yeah, I'm with you. And then Sungjae, we were kind of talking about it last week about how like I completely faded him. I know you were, I think, super underweight to the field or something like that, but I just think now is the time where you jump back on. Like, this is what we've talked about before. When you want to play Sungjae when he's going to be 10 to 15%, not when he's going to be 25, 30, and he's going to be chalk. Like, now everyone's coming off of him. I think it's the perfect week to jump back on. And I really don't like this 9K range that we can talk about next. But Sungjae is like the only guy that I'm looking at. Kevin Na, yes, if his putter's hot, he could do really well here. But again, you're paying $9,100 for a guy who withdraws all the time. He has back issues constantly. The first tournament we had, he had a back issue after like the third hole where he literally like dropped his club and grabbed his back. So do you want to pay $9K for that type of chance? Like, I don't know. I don't want to pay $9,100 for Kevin Na, even though I do think he could do well here, but it's just such a price bump. But talk about the rest of these 9K guys kind of besides Sungjae, because you kind of already gave what you thought about him.
Yeah, so, I mean, as you work your way down, I mean, you got Ricky Fowler, who I kind of thought I might be interested in him. I even had him on my core plays for a minute as like or the tier plays as leverage for a minute, but I changed that out, I think, to I might have even put Kevin Na. I hate the 9K range, kind of like you. Like, I like him a little bit, but I'm going to play Hovland and Hideki if I do that, or I'm just going to go lower for that matter. So Ricky Fowler, I just don't ever want to play Ricky Fowler. I'm not going to play him again. He's going to be pretty low owned, but I just don't need to play him. Finau broke my heart. He was one of the guys last week that I thought was a lock to make the cut. Missed it on the cut line, I think, -3 or whatever. He's priced up 1,000, and he's still going to be pretty chalky. I don't want to pay $9,300 for Tony Finau as chalk. Like, I'm just not doing it. So I think a lot of the cash players will play Tony Finau. I think I'm just going to fade him. I'd rather play these guys that we'll get to in a minute in the high 8Ks and the scrub range too. So Tony Finau, I'm off. Bubba Watson, I'm definitely off at 9,200. Kevin Na, he's not going to be on my main team by any means, or even if I'm doing 3 max, definitely not going to be in on that by any means. But I'll have some Kevin Na in my Millie Maker. Like maybe I set it at 10 to 20% or something and just try to get along the field. I think he's a decent play. He can go low when he makes birdies. Scotty Scheffler, I talk about every week. Like, I think Scotty Scheffler sucks. I don't think he's a 9K golfer at all. Last week, I talked how I was going to fade him as a chalky guy. He missed the cut. He sucks. I'm just not going to play him. I mean, this range is kind of dead for me. I really like the next range we'll get into. Go ahead and talk about a few of these guys real quick at the top. Sabatini, Poston, Jason Day, Doc Redman. I mean, Glover, this is my range right here. I like these dudes.
And I just want to clarify, like, my two favorite plays in the 9K range are Sung Jae 1 and Kevin Na 2. That's how much I don't like this range. Like, Kevin Na is my second favorite guy.
I think we're on the same page this week, too, which is a good sign. Like, we like a lot of these same guys.
Yeah, for sure. And then, I mean, as we get into this 8K range, this is where we start to kind of build our lineups after we hit Bryson. I think you're on the same page with me where we get into the Sabatinis, the JT Postons, Doc Redman, Lucas Glover. Now, Doc Redman and Lucas Glover, they're going to be chalky. What's funny is I've heard a lot of people saying Doc Redman, he's going to be popular, let's fade him. So if everyone's saying that, it could work both. Maybe that doesn't end up happening. Maybe people just don't listen to what they said about Doc Redman because he's played so well. But if all the touts are just saying he's going to be chalk, fade him, then he might not actually come in at 20% or whatever like he's projected on a lot of these sites to come in at. That's just my opinion. I said this yesterday, but like that's just how it seems to me is we might get Doc and it might be more like 15%. And the way he's playing, I mean, he honestly deserves the price bump to 8,500 in this field. And I love him. I also love Glover, but it's just hard for me when I'm making my lineups because the way I want to build is I want to be over the field on almost all of my golfers. And when I build my player pool for MME, I pick 25 to 30 golfers in that range. So I have a tighter player pool than some people. I know Tony's is a little more than mine, but that's because I try to get overweight on all my guys. And I'm going to need to have like 30 to 40% Redman to be overweight on him. And it's going to be tough. Like I'm going to probably do it though. Cause I really like Redman. Sabatini, someone who is super consistent, cut maker, but at 8,800, I'm probably not going to go there just cause he's more of like in my eyes, like a cash guy when he's in those 7K ranges. At 8,800, I just can't pay 8,800 for Sabatini. Like him a lot. I just can't pay that price. I much prefer Doc and Glover. And then we'll get into a few others at this bottom. But talk about that top, 8,500 to 89.
Yeah, so, I mean, for the most part, I agree with you. I'm in the same range. I know week one when we came on the show, I had my buddy Wakey. I mean, one of the best high stakes players, all sports. He gave us that Xander tip. He was giving us a good tip on Xander. This week he was. I should clarify too. He was super high on Webb over Bryson, but that's just because he's a donkey. I mean, he's gonna get owned on that. But his second point,
you can't call him a donkey after giving us the Xander call. You just can't do that.
I'm allowed to stick a little needle in him, but. The second point he made, though, was JT Poston. I don't think anyone's going to play him. He's got good course history as far as the comparable courses. There's two other courses, like I said. I looked into it a little closer, and he's had good history there. He's 8,700. He's probably going to be 10% owned. I like him a ton. I mean, a lot of people are going to play Rory Sabatini. Right now, he's projected like 18%. JT Poston projected 9 or 10%, so like half of Sabatini for the same price. He's got upside too, which we saw those first 2 weeks back from COVID. I love JT Poston. I like Doc Redman too. I think Glover is going to be a fade for me. I know a lot of people I shouldn't say a fade because I'll definitely play some. I keep seeing this crazy stat where he's got the most birdies and eagles the last month since we've come back from COVID. So it's tough to fade a guy that has the most birdies and eagles. I mean, granted, it's only 3 or 4 weeks, but that's still, I mean, it says something that he's playing good, and I like that. But it's tough. I mean, 8,400 for Lucas Glover, and he's going to be like 20% owned, is tough for me when I can just play JT Poston for 300 more at 10% owned. I should say too, like, I hate Jason Day. He killed us 2 weeks ago.
Don't do it. Just don't
He
do
did decent,
it.
but I'm just looking at this ownership in this range. Like, he's projected 5% owned amongst all these chalky guys.
Stick with JT Poston. Stick with JT Poston and just move on. Jason Day, that guy is.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Day is definitely not going to be a core piece, but JT Poston, I'm definitely going to be overweight on him. And Doc, I mean, I have to go overweight on Doc too. I like him. Talk about your boy. I mean, I'm just ready to puke even looking at him. I mean, for the last 3 weeks, you just keep talking this Hoosener or whatever his name is.
You are going to learn his name after this week. I'm telling you right now. Everybody, Tony is going to have to say Bazoonheit correctly by the time that this tournament ends. So next week on Wednesday.
I mean, just don't be like Phil, though, and like – if this guy goes low for 2 rounds, don't be circle jerking the whole freaking whatever you were doing with Phil. Like,
let me just talk about him then real quick because so I was on him at the RBC. You know, a Europe guy who comes in, he's really good golfer, solid, has great irons, you know, good putter, not the best off the tee, but like is okay, but he's very good with the irons and the putter. And he's just someone who no one really knows about. So like the public isn't really going to be on him. So in these Millie Maker tournaments, I think he's a phenomenal play, someone you could be, you know, overweight on. And I mean, to be over the field on Bazoonheit, you could be coming in at 8, 9, 10% owned. You'd be 20%. You're overweight. Like, this guy's just got upside, and he showed it at the RBC. And this is a way weaker field than what he's seeing at the RBC. So I think he could do even better. I think he could contend. I really like him a lot at 8,300. I don't think that that price is that crazy to pay when you look at the golfers in this range. I think it's, you know, he's one of the better golfers in this range. When we talk about the low 8K range. And again, just like someone who's very consistent, you know, with the irons and the putter. And I like that at a track like this. So I love him. Tony, I mean, you don't like him. You can't even say his name. Like, I can barely say his name, but just call him Bez. How about that, Tony?
No, I'm not calling him anything because he's going to miss the cut. Like, I mean, how can you play that? How can you play that, dude?
How can you play him over who? You're talking about over. So we got Adam Hadwin, RCB, Kitayama, Eric Van Rooyen in this range. Like, tell me right now, like, are you saying that all of those golfers are just way better than Bazoonheit?
Yeah, I like every single one of those guys more than your Buzenhosen or whatever his name is.
God.
Like, so I would rank these guys, like, I like all of these guys. You got Eric Van Rooyen, 8K. Like, he's shown upside in big fields. He's done well in the past. RCB looked great last week. How is RCB going to be 5% owned? Like, just because all these guys are priced up 1,000. Like, everybody in this range is 1,000 higher than they usually are. So you just have to know that going in. RCB looked great last week. If he's 5% owned, I love RCB. EVR, I love. Brant Snedeker's shown good success here. I'm not usually a Snedeker guy, though. Like, I don't like these guys that are good putters that depend on it, though. They're not as good of ball strikers as the other guys that can't putt. I'm just always going to choose ball striking over these putters. I don't care about the proximity to the pin and this guy's 37th in proximity to the pin and this guy's 94th in I mean, all these stats these guys say, I mean, it's over the top, and I don't care about that. But Brian Harmon missed the cut last week, 7,900. I love Harmon. Kitayama. So this is who we need to talk about. On FanDuel, Kitayama 7,700. I'm just going to play him every team. He's like 55-1, I think, to win the tournament. He's solid. FanDuel is way underpriced, but DK, where he's in this 8-1 range, I don't think anyone's going to play him. And it's not that I'm like in love with them at 8-1 because Van Rooyen's a better play. Harmon's a better play. Stedeker's a better play. I mean, he's still definitely a better play than Buzenhosen, but I mean,
just call him Booze or something. Like, geez, everyone's getting a kick out of this in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to make a cut before I can even begin to pronounce.
Made a cut. He made the RBC. He made the cut for the RBC.
You were full circle jerking him as he finished. Like, what did he finish?
He scored 95 points at the
What
RBC.
place did he finish?
T28. He was
like you were circle jerking over a 28th place finish. I mean, come on.
He was 7,200, and you guys were like, you were literally telling me he was a bad play.
JSU, you can't be circle jerking over Phil Mickelson with a Friday lead. I mean, Buzenhosen with a 28th place finish. I mean, we got high standards on the Wednesday show. I mean, you can't be taking these moral victories. I'm going to have to ship you to the Tuesday show here soon.
You're going to trade me?
I mean, if you're taking moral victories, I mean, we got high standards on Wednesdays.
That reminds me. So AP wanted me to let you know that his email address is apeterson@gmail.com for when you lose the Burns versus Matthew Wolf bet that you guys made. He said you can just directly send the 400 to him right now because it's a foregone conclusion that you are losing that bet. But I just wanted to let you know.
I mean, so let me get a drink before I jump into this. But, I mean, speaking of circle jerks, AP for the last 2 weeks talking about his freaking swing coach and, his hitch, his Jim Furyk swing, he hits it so far. I mean, it's like that gif where the spooge is just going all over the screen. I mean, AP loves freaking this Wolf. I mean, it's another guy. Like, can he just make a cut before we start circle jerking?
Yeah, but he actually needs to make a cut before we start even praising him. My guy's at least made a cut. Like,
but he missed the cut on the cut line though. So yeah, I mean that moral victories again on the Tuesday show.
So also, Tony, I wanted to ask. So, what do you think about the mixture of the greens? The POA, bent grass. Like talk about the greens a little bit because I know that's a big conversation. The type of greens that everyone likes to talk about. I get it. People bet are putting better on different surfaces. I get it, but it's just like overemphasized. Putting is such a variable. Like you see the best putters in the world, like Kevin Na will sometimes go out and it'll be on the surface he is good at, and he will be terrible putting. And then all of a sudden, some weeks he'll be great. It's like putting is so tough to like. That's what kills me about the putting on certain green stats. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. That's just me. I know you're with me on that one, Tony. So I digress. Let's go on to the let's go on to the 7K.
How can these guys talk about these? How can these guys freaking talk about, I can't play this guy because he can't putt on the POA? Like, this guy's terrible because the bent grass. I mean, come on. Like, this guy's proximity to the green. If he doesn't hit it to the proximity and then the bent grass green, I mean, come on. Come on.
Yeah, that's all we got to say is come on. All right, you can ship me to the Tuesday show. We'll bring one of those guys over for you, Tony. How about that? So let's get on to this this 7K range because I love some Brent Snedeker this week. I thought he looked good last week. I think this is a spot where, again, he could be someone who goes low. Brian Harman at 7,900. You talked about how a lot of people got a big price bump. Brian Harman, someone who did not get a big price bump. I think he was 7,600 last week, and he only got bumped 300 to 79. And he's shown upside. I like him a lot, and it looks like he's going to be around that 10-12% ownership, and I love that. Brandon Todd, someone who dropped the ball on Sunday, but other than that, looked great, hit fairways. I think he only missed 2 fairways all week. Like, the guy was really, really good. And I think because he dropped the ball on Sunday, his ownership, kind of is going to be suppressed from what it would have been if he stayed in contention. Even if he didn't win, but it was just like close with him and DJ at the end, his ownership would have been double what it's going to be now. So I like going to those three guys. They're three of my favorite up at this top, 7K range. But Tony, who are some of your guys?
Yeah, I mean, so you said it perfectly. I mean, Brian Harmon missed the cut last week. He's going to be 10%. I thought he'd be more popular this week, honestly. Like, he's one of the few guys, like you said, that feels too cheap. Like, everyone got priced up. He didn't. Like, I feel like he should be in that 8,700 range. So I'm not usually a Harmon guy, but he fits the build nicely this week in this 8K range. I'm probably not going to play Noren. Todd, I agree completely. Like, he played great all week. He got a little nervous on Sunday. DJ was chasing him. He pissed down the leg a little bit. Didn't close for sure. I mean, he triple bogeyed that one hole. Just his legs were shaking during some of those shots. So he got a little nervous on Sunday, but
it was really just that one hole. It was really just that one hole. I mean, he really screwed himself.
I mean, he definitely didn't play good though. Like he had a 2-shot lead coming in. I mean, it was the one hole that really got him, but he didn't play great that day. Either way, I think he's a great bounce back candidate because, like you said, if he wins that tournament and plays solid on Sunday, he's going to be 8,500, 8,600 in that range. So I definitely think you can come back with him. Kisner, I'm never playing. Grace, I'm never playing. Varner, last week on the show, we talked about Varner a little bit. I liked him. He's another guy. Like, I like him when he's not owned. But you're telling me freaking HV3 is going to be 20% owned? That's just not something I can do. I'd rather play these 6K guys unowned. I'm not playing HV3 at 20% owned. I'm just not doing it. So I'm fading him. Speaking of, not to get back to the circle jerk again, but our boy Snyder does the showdowns for us. He does the betting article going into the week. He freaking gets a full circle jerk to Maverick McNeely every single week. But 7,600, I mean, I'm not paying 7,600 for Maverick McNeely. Scott Stallings got the price bump. He's been good to us on showdowns. Not playing him. Bramlett, Patrick Rogers, not playing any of these guys. So Stewart, he's been getting a lot of traction from people where he's got some narrative where he likes the course. He's played pretty solid. He could end up being under 10% still. But 7,400, like, I don't know what it is about this range, but like these guys literally feel like the same exact guys that we can get for 1K less in the high 6Ks, where it lets us go up and get Bryson and Hovland and some of these top guys. Like I'm going to play some Brian Stewart, but I mean, it feels like an overpay to me to pay 7,400. Even Keegan Bradley's a guy that I don't feel like got a price bump. He stunk and missed the cut, but he's shown in the past that he does have the ability to go low at times. He's going to be 3% owned, and he doesn't feel over expensive to me. Like 7,300 feels fair for him, which on this week where everyone's overpriced, I could see playing some Keegan Bradley, especially in the Millie Maker type format where he has the ability to go low and to get you up to some of the studs. And then the rest of this range, I mean, Will Gordon looked incredible last week, but again, he's 7,300 instead of 6,500, and he's going to be 13% owned instead of unowned. So I don't really want to jump on that wagon a week late. Chris Kirk, not going to play him. Hubbard, I don't love him. But so the next guy that I'd have interest in is definitely Siwoo. He's had some success in this type of track. He's always boom or bust. At Pinnacle, he was like 100-1 earlier in the week. Now he's down to like, I think 55-1 or something. So he's getting some good traction. He's 7,200 though. That just feels cheap. Granted, he's risky, but this is a tournament show. We're not playing these chalky guys. Like, we're trying to win a big field tournament. And Siwoo Kim has shown at times he can do that for 7,200 and 5% owned. Kyle Stanley, Munoz, Thompson, Grillo. I mean, all these guys are similar plays. I mean, Sebastian Munoz is really supposed to be 12% owned. I mean, really? Sebastian freaking Munoz? Like, I'm not playing 12% Sebastian Munoz. I think the next guy I would play, and the only other guy in the 7Ks, actually, I like Tyler Duncan too, but Peter Uihlein is one of my favorite sneakier plays at 7K. He's going to be super low owned. What do you think about this whole range? Like, there's so many plays in here that I think we could talk about.
Yeah, well, you just gave me like your whole player pool right there. Just listed the whole bottom 7K range.
I faded them all. What do you mean?
You faded Mark Hubbard. You faded HV3, Scott Stallings, Maverick McNeely. Am I right?
All of them. No, I faded
Patrick Reed.
Stanley. I said I can't play Sebastian
Oh, I
Munoz.
thought you were saying you wanted to
No,
play Stanley
I
and
said I
Thompson.
can't play him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a
No, the
sucker
only
for
guys. No, we got to be clear because I don't want people
Okay.
thinking I'm playing it. So literally, the only guys I'm playing are Keegan Bradley. I'll play some. Siwoo, I'll play. And Uline and Duncan. I'm only playing 4 of those guys.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to push back a little on Stewart and Patrick Rogers. You want to talk about someone who's been making cuts? Brian Stewart made his last 3 cuts, played pretty well. Talked about how he likes the course. 7,400. Yeah, he was cheaper, but still, I think it's still cheap enough where you can make lineups with him. Patrick Rogers, another guy who I think you could go with, does have some upside if he gets hot with the putter. So I don't mind paying 7,400 for him. Because it wasn't a huge price bump from what he was before. But I agree with you on Mark Hubbard, 7,200. If he's going to be popular, I'll fade him. I'd much prefer tournament pivot like Siwoo Kim. Always a sucker for some Siwoo. That guy is the epitome of just like he's either ceiling or he's just complete bust. But I'll take it in like the Millie Maker. Like that's a play you want. Keegan Bradley, I can't stand playing Keegan Bradley. I never play Keegan Bradley and maybe it's just because I never got him right in the beginning, so I just stay away. I get the play, but I'm not going to play him. But I'm with you, like HV3, no HV3 for me, no Maverick McNeely for me. Scott Stallings, I might have a little bit of, but that would be the only one. So for me, it's Brian Stewart, Patrick Rogers, Siwoo, and then I'm going to have some Tyler Duncan and Peter Uline and Michael Thompson because I still think that Thompson has some upside at 7,100. I don't think he's going to be super popular either. So I think he's fine to play. But is there anyone else that we missed in that 7K range? I think Taylor Gooch might get some love. I think Relo might get some love. Will Gordon, I know you talked about him. I don't know with Will Gordon. Like, you're not playing Will Gordon, right? I don't know what to do with him.
It's mainly because of last week, though. Like, it felt like he crushed. I mean, he did look good, but man, if his ownership has to spike a little bit, and I don't know. I don't want to come back with a guy like that after he has a week like that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. He's someone who I'm definitely up in the air about. But let's get down to the 6K range because there's a lot of guys that we like. I see one guy that I know you're super high on. I like him a lot too. Sammy Burns. Talk about Sammy Burns and why you love him so much, and maybe just crap on AP a little more about Matty Wolff.
So Sammy Burns, man, last week 4 rounds in the 60s. He's just shown me that I like his skill set. I mean, and no one's going to play him. He's 6,900. He's going to be under 10% owned for sure, probably like 5% owned. And I just feel like he's underpriced. I mean, I like him a lot more than the field. These are the spots where I just want to go way over. I was going to go all in on him, all 150, but I mean, maybe you kind of talked me into it. I was talking to Wakey a little bit. Maybe it's just stupid to go all in, even if I do love him, just because, I mean, he's only going to be 5% owned. So you don't really need to go all in to get way above the field. So maybe I go 50%. But point being, I will be way over the field on Sammy Burns. If he does well, I'm going to have a good week for sure, unless Bryson somehow lets us down. But I just think he's underpriced, 6,900. He goes really good with the build with Bryson. But the rest of these guys, Ryan Armour on Sunday shoots 62 or whatever he shot last Sunday. He's still 6,900, going to be 2% owned. Kazire has shown us the ability to score at 6,900. Lanto Griffin looked good last week, 6,800. Harry Higgs. So you just made fun of me about wanting to play all the 7K guys. These are the guys where I actually am going to play all the guys. Like Harry Higgs has shown us he can score at times. And this
Yeah,
Millie
because there's
Maker,
no difference. There's really
yeah,
like not much of a difference, right? Like,
exactly.
and
I mean,
you're getting like $500 to $700 discounts on these
yeah.
guys, and really the upside's the same almost. So it makes sense. And guys, we'll take some questions once we're finished with this range. So if you have questions, you can start to throw them in there. I saw one question from AP. He wanted to know how many wins Sam Burns has. How many wins does Sam Burns has? Does he have a
I
win?
mean, yeah, I don't know because I don't look at the
I think
stats.
he's doing that because Matty Wolf definitely has one win, right? Doesn't he have a win? So that's where he's
I
going with
mean,
this.
I didn't realize that we got. Do we get paid based on previous wins?
Oh, I don't know. I think
Oh,
he's just saying that one guy's a winner and
I
one guy hasn't won yet. I don't
I
know.
mean, I didn't know we got paid from previous tournaments. I mean,
He wants his 400 now, Tony. He doesn't want to wait, man. He wants his
the
400
funny
now.
part about this, so I've given him a lot of crap about it, but Matty Wolf, I mean, 6,800. I'm definitely playing some Matty Wolf. Like, I was mainly joking with him because he just freaking full circle jerk about this dude that he's not any good. I mean, Matty Wolf sucks, but he's 6,800. So he's one of these guys that is definitely underpriced. Like, even though I made fun of him and talked a little trash, I do like Matty Wolf. He's in this range. I mean, all these guys, all these dudes down in here, I could just keep going. Like, let me work my way down. I mean, who is the one I really like? Like 6,600, Wyndham Clark, our boy Wyndham. He's going to go
Oh
ham on us.
yeah.
Like 6,600 for him. I love that. 6,500 for Wesley Bryan, who looked really good the last 2 weeks. 6,500 is just too cheap. And I know that like half of these guys are going to miss the cut, but it sounds bad to say this, but I'm planning on just hoping to get lucky with 2 or 3 of these guys down here. I'm going to play Bryson. I'm going to play a guy like Hovland Hideki M for my second guy. I'm going to play one of those good 8K guys that I feel very confident in. So I'm going to have 3 really good guys that I feel like could win the tournament. And then I'm going to play 3 of these scrub guys, and I'm going to hope they score for me. It's just the truth. Like, I like these guys just as much as I like the guys in the 7K and even some of the 8K guys. And I'm just going to take my chances.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have a bunch of guys in this range. Lonto Griffin is one of my favorites. He can take advantage of the par fives. He's done really well with those. Sam Burns, I'm with you on. Matty Wolf, Harry Higgs, all those guys we agree on. Wyndham Clark. One other guy, Matt Jones. No one's going to play him, but again, just another guy who has shown he can really take advantage of the par fives, and we get 4 of them. So at 6,500, guy has big upside. Especially when you talk about those par fives where you can easily get, birdies opportunities all day. So I like him a lot. And then Tony, I think you had one guy that you were missing that you were on. I think he was min price on FanDuel. Give us that play on FanDuel because he was min price.
So my buddy played at Mississippi State Golf. Really good golfer, really stays tied in. He got me on this dude. What is this freaking dude's name? He's 6,200 on DraftKings. I looked him up a little bit. He's got decent history. He's 6,200 on DraftKings. Chase Seifert. He's 7K on FanDuel, though, which is just so cheap. I mean, like 7K on FanDuel is way cheaper than even 6,200 on DK when you value out what you can get. So, like, if you play Kazai or what's our dude's name at 7,700? On
Kitayama.
Yeah, if you play Kitayama at 7,700 and you play this Seifert dude at 7K, you can literally play Bryson and whatever other 3 guys you want. And then you only need 2. We kind of me and you talked a little bit about this strategy, but my strategy on FanDuel literally is going to be I'm going to lock Kitayama in every single team of my 150. And then I'm going to probably play 50% Sammy Burns and 50% Seifert. Or maybe I'll go 75 Burns, 25 Seifert. But it allows me to play all the studs with Bryson. So if those 3 guys hit the cut on FanDuel, it's just going to be a total print fest, I think. And I like this guy. I mean, he's 6,200 on DraftKings. I just don't need to be sold on that. Like, that's how I play. Like, if someone I trust really likes a guy and he's 6,200 on DraftKings, I don't need much more. I don't need to hear he's 48th in proximity to the green and he can't putt on POA and bent grass and he's 6,200. I need a cheap guy to fit with my good guys. That's just what I go with.
Yeah, definitely. And again, guys, if you have questions, throw them in there because we'll answer a few questions before we get out of here. But Tony, anything else to add pretty much on this range? I think we covered most of it. Anything else to add on the strategy or what you're planning on doing when it comes to your builds? We obviously know that you're going to take shots with a bunch of these guys. Are you planning on building like the Bryson and, one 10K guy and then taking 2 6K shots in a lot of your lineups? Is that your plan of construction?
Yeah, so I always play my one main team, all single entries, all 3 maxes. Whatever I get in, I play my main team, and then I usually play 2 more kind of big teams where the 3 maxes, maybe the 555 type things. And on those 3, I'm for sure going to go with the same plan. Bryson, one 10K guy. Maybe since I got 3 teams, it could be one Hovland, one Hideki, one Sungjae, and then one 8K range guy, and then 3 cheapies. Or maybe on one of my teams, I play Hovland or something, or instead of Hovland, instead of that range, I go down and play 2 or 3 guys in the 8K range, and then only 2 cheapies on maybe one team. But they're all going to be similar builds for me this week. I'm going to play Bryson. I'm going to try to play one more good guy with him. I'm going to play one mid-range guy with him that I really like, and then 3 cheapies. So my week 100% is going to come down to these cheap guys I like, Sammy Burns, Matty Wolf, even these cheap guys with Bryson. That's just going to be what my week comes down to in all formats.
Yeah. All right. And guys, don't forget, if you could please hit that like button. Again, it just really helps us push this content out for you guys. So that'd be much appreciated. But let's get to a few questions. Oh, before we get questions, Tony, let's pick the winners because last week.
Let's go through these odds real quick again, like last week.
Last week. So you had Bryson, right? I know I had Rory. Can we talk about Rory just melting down on Friday, counting how many people were on the greens? That just drove me nuts. I think that threw him off for the rest of the week. That guy was just in his head.
Yeah, I mean, Rory is I think Bryson's the best right now. Rory, he just hasn't shown it for me. I mean, my one team that I did good last week had Bryson and Rory, but it was frustrating to watch him for sure. Yeah. Let's go through these odds real quick like we did last week. Let's see how our because I haven't looked at these because I was traveling to the golf course getting situated. So I haven't looked at what the movement – let's see how our guys are faring. So let's go through. Lucas Glover is basically a coin flip versus EVR, so that doesn't necessarily say much. Kevin Na is favored over Rory Sabatini, minus 115. So that, I mean, that kind of shows where we were at. I mean, we kind of liked Kevin Na and Sabatini a little bit. We got, let's see, Patrick Reed. So this one's interesting here. This is one that I consider pretty interesting. You got Patrick Reed minus 123 over Hovland. And I think Hovland is going to get a lot more ownership than Patty Reed. So that's an example where maybe you pivot a little your Hovland over to Patty Reed just based on Patty Reed being minus 125 over him in lower owned. So that's kind of
I'll tell you right now, Patty Reed's someone who he can go low. I mean, he can't hit a fairway, but he can definitely make birdies in bunches. So, I mean, I don't mind that call, honestly, if Hovland's going to be that much higher owned, which I think he will. Like, I think on FanDuel, a lot of people are going to take him over Reed. So I think that's like an interesting pivot right there.
Yep. So the next one, I mean, pretty interesting. It's your boy Buzenhosen. Him and RCB, basically a coin flip. I like RCB. You like Buzenhosen?
No, I will take whatever amount of money you want on that coin flip, Tony. Let me know. We can make a bet if you want to make a bet. I'll give you whatever the odds are. I'll take
no,
that bet.
it's even. We'll go. I bet AP 200. We'll go 200. I got RCB.
Done.
You got Buzenhosen.
Done.
Deal. That's our first bet. Deal.
You marking it down? You gonna write it down?
All right. I'll write it down.
You keep it track. All right.
We got
Keep
it.
going,
Locked in. RCB versus Buzenhosen. Okay, we're working our way down. We got Sungjae minus 133 over Ricky Fowler. So when I see that, I already like Sungjae way more than Ricky. I just would never play Ricky over Sungjae. If I already liked Sungjae and I see this line, I'm just gonna play Sungjae over him, which I already was. So that's good. We got Matty Wolf minus 127 over Bramlett. We didn't really like Bramlett, but it's nice to see Matty Wolf is minus 127. Bramlett was more expensive. The next one, so this early in the week, we got these guys tweeting me, oh, how can you play Bryson over Webb? It's minus 105 on DraftKings, everyone's saying. Bryson, Big Daddy Bryson with the big ball bag between his legs is minus 151 over Webb. So he's not minus 105, minus 151 over Webb. Good luck playing Webb. Good luck playing Webb, boys. We're playing Big Daddy Bryson on Wednesday nights here. Let's move our way down. Doc Redman. So we got this same price range. Doc Redman, Adam Hadwin, minus 129 for Doc Redman. I like Doc more than Hadwin. You like Doc more than Hadwin. The line kind of likes it. Sungjae, Tony Finau. Sungjae is minus 111 over Finau. We like Sungjae more than Finau. So I feel good about that. You got Finau minus 125 over Ricky Fowler. Like Fowler, man. You just can't play Ricky Fowler. He's sucked all year. The odds basically say he sucks. I
don't like either of them. Personally, I don't want to play either of them, but I prefer Tony Finau if I had to pick between the two. But I'm not a big fan of either of them. That whole range, I'm telling you, Bubba Watson, all those guys, just I don't want to do it. Like I rather play the higher up 8K guys.
Yeah, I agree completely. So working our way down. So this one's kind of interesting because it's going to tell me two things here. It's JT Poston. It's Siwoo Kim. Before I say the line, I'm going to say kind of how I interpret it. Like JT Poston is 8,100, is he? Or how much is Poston?
He's 87.
JT Poston's 8,700. 8,700. Siwoo Kim is 7,200 or whatever he is, low seven. So you got a huge price discrepancy, which is kind of what I said, though, in the odds where Siwoo was like 60 to 1 or 55 to 1 at Pinnacle, which was why I liked Siwoo. Like he was priced way lower than he should be. But the matchup, so JT Poston is a huge favorite over Siwoo minus 170. But I don't take as much into this because one guy is 1,500 more than the other guy, where it kind of makes me like Siwoo even more just because of the price, and we already like Poston. So we really like Poston, and Siwoo is in the same matchup as him. Even though he's a big dog, it kind of makes me like Siwoo even more, if that makes any sense in the crazy way I said it. But
that definitely makes sense for sure. The big price discrepancy, like difference, is what you're going to see in that line, and then 7,200 to 87. So big difference.
So I don't worry as much about being a dog. So another one, we got a super interesting one here: Hovland and Hideki, which is going to be my decision right now. I can guarantee it for my main team. My second guy on my main team behind Bryson is going to be Hideki or Hovland. And the matchup, Hideki is minus 112. Hovland is going to be higher owned for sure. I might go with my boy Hideki to redeem himself after a few weeks ago.
You're definitely playing Hideki. If the choice is between Hideki and Hovland, I know
Hovland
you're definitely going to go.
I got a soft spot for Hovland, man. Like the last 3 weeks I've been on Hovland.
Yeah, it's your boy. You've literally rode him all 3 weeks.
It's going to be hard to get off Hovland. I'm definitely going to play.
The problem is, like on FanDuel, one is literally going to be 30%, and one is going to be like 15 to 20. Like
I'm probably going to play them both on FanDuel, honestly. In my main team, I'm probably going to play them both.
with Bryson, just all three of them. Yeah.
I mean, we got the cheap plays on. FanDuel is going to be a total print fest this week, but let's keep working down. We only got a few more. So this is an interesting one. Our boy Brian Stewart versus Keegan. We kind of talked about that price range where Stewart's a pretty good play. Keegan's going to be low owned. Stewart is minus 124 in this matchup, which again kind of goes along with what we think. I think Stewart is probably a better play than Keegan. Even though I'm going to play Keegan, if I had to choose between the two, it would for sure be Stewart. He's got a lot of things working in his favor. We got Webb Simpson minus 137 over Hatton. I mean, I'm just not going to play Hatton for sure. I'm probably not going to play Webb. If I do, it will be with Bryson. Kind of like the build last week where we played Rory and Bryson together with some scrubs. I could play Webb and Bryson together. I'm not pivoting off Bryson for Webb. If I play Webb, it will definitely be with Bryson. So, and then one more. So we talked about, who did I say Patty Reed was favored over? He was favored over Hovland, right? Or no, Sungjae.
No. Yes. Was it Sungjae?
Who was it? I'm going to scroll back up. Hovland. Yeah, he was minus 123 over Hovland. So this is real interesting. Patrick Reed, minus 120. Everybody kind of thinks Hovland is going to be the chalk guy in that range. Hideki's really close to him. Patty Reed's minus 123 over Hovland. And now Patty Reed is, where'd this next one go? Minus 111. So a small favorite over Hideki, too. Patty Reed, cheaper price, favored over both of the chalkier guys. I mean, right now we got Patrick Reed. I guess maybe not chalkier, I guess. I mean, they're all projected. Hovland has to be higher owned, but I mean, they're all projected to get some ownership. So I don't know. Patrick Reed, I didn't have as much interest in him, but I obviously need to get more. I need to put him in that grouping with Sungjae, Hideki, Hovland as my number 2 guy for sure. And that's kind of it for the matchups.
You're just struggling with putting him ahead of Hovland right now. You can't do it. You have too much of a soft spot for him.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I can put Patrick Reed ahead of Hovland and Hideki. Like, even if the odds tell me that, I just don't think I can play Patrick Reed ahead of those guys. I just don't think I can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know on FanDuel I'm gonna, just because Hovland's ownership is gonna be through the roof, I think, and Patrick Reed's gonna be like half of it. But yeah, I mean,
so what about some win odds? Any win odds? So I'll run through these. You think about it. Let's do our same thing we did last week, where we pick cheap guy, middle guy, long-term guy. So I'll just run down the list while you think. We got Bryson 6-1. I'll just say the interesting ones to me. You got Hideki 15-1, Hovland 18, Patrick Reed 15. So kind of like we just talked about, Hideki, Patty Reed, Hovland, all in that same range. Sungjae behind them. Pretty interesting to me. Kevin Na is 27-1. I don't think hardly anyone's going to play Kevin Na. And like Tony Finau, everyone's going to play Tony Finau over those guys. He's got lower win odds. JT Poston and Doc Redman are 2 of my absolute favorites. I could end up playing both of them on FanDuel in my main team. You got JT Poston 39-1, Doc Redman 42-1. I really like both of those. EVR is 51-1. Siwoo, the guy, I mean, we talked a bunch about him, 55-1. Kitayama, who is a deadlock on FanDuel to me, is only 56-1. Sabatini 56. Buzenhosen 62-1. Who did we bet? Who do I got against Buzenhosen?
You got RCB. Where's he at?
So RCB is 74-1. You got a little bit better win odds than me, 62-74. Let's see if anyone else. Matty Wolf on Pinnacle is 84-1. So I like to see that out of my guy under 7K. Let's see if anyone else. Keegan Bradley's 100-1. My main man, Sammy Burns, is 140-1. Sign me up. I mean, don't you dare steal my long shot. I'm saying it right now before you. I'm picking my long shot right now. Sammy Burns, 140-1. Go ahead. Who do you like? Give me some winners.
All right. So for a long shot, I went back on 2 guys, but I think I'm going to go with my boy Lonto Griffin. I think this is a course where he could have some success, 125 to 1. So I don't mind him at that. And then going up, I'm with you. I like JT Poston. I like Snedeker. I went back and forth. I really like Brant Snedeker. I'm going to play him at 45 to 1. He's another guy I'm going to bet. Again, just think that he could be someone that just comes out and absolutely destroys the score. So those are two guys I really like. I'll save my final one. You give me your middle guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even give you 51 to 1 with Snedeker at Pinnacle, so you can get a little extra juice. 51 to 1. My mid-range guy, man, I'm going to go with my boy history. I like how he played 2 and 3 weeks ago. JT Poston, what is he on DK?
He's 45 to 1.
He's 45 to 1 on DK. He's 40 to 1 on Pinnacle. I'll take the 45 to 1 on DraftKings. JT Poston.
All right, so you got
give me your winner.
Poston. So for my winner, so who are your three? Just so I had you had.
I didn't pick my good guy yet, but I got Sammy Burns 150 to 1 or whatever it was, and JT Poston 45 to 1 for my middle tier guy.
So I just have a feeling that no one in this like top range is going to actually win this tournament. I don't know why. Like, I just have a feeling. I'm going to pick Doc Redman at 40 to 1. I love it. I love him this week. He finished second here last year. Give me some Doc Redman at 40 to 1. I feel like one of these guys in this like mid range takes it down. And I like Doc, so I'm going to take some Doc. Who you got? Don't say DeChambeau, please.
So we were talking about this. Like we get what they pay out. So like at the end of it, we still haven't picked a winner in three weeks as far as the win. I think we picked 2 the first week, we picked 2 the second week, and we picked 3 the third week. So basically we're down 8 units, but we get the win odds. So I'm taking my boy Big Daddy Bryson. Like no one doesn't want to pick. I'm only getting what I get. Let me see. I get
6 to 1, 6.5 to 1.
Let's see what we got. We can get 6.5 to 1 at DraftKings. We get 6.5 to 1 at Pinnacle. So yeah, I'll take 6.5 to 1 with Bryson. It's not a cop out because I'm going to take him every week. We get the odds when they win. And somebody in the chat too. I was reading the chat. They wanted to know what Seifert was. He's 400 to 1. Like, you don't have to bet that much. If you bet $100 a game, put $5 on Seifert, like just for fun. I think it's a good play. I'm not going to do it as one of my official ones because we're only picking the 3, but 400 to 1 on this guy, it's worth a little stab to me. So I think we're good to go with those.
All right, so let's just get into a few of these questions, and we'll get out of here. So Brian Johnson wants to know. Let's see. Matt Jones, Aaron Weiss, and Knox rating himself point per dollar. Thoughts? So,
who was it again?
So it's Matt Jones, Aaron Weiss, and Knox.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a ton of the cheap guys, and we didn't really talk about any of those 3, but I like the guys we like more. Yeah, I mean, so if you like Jones, let's go with Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jones at 65.
I'd rather play those guys we talked about, though. Like, I like Aaron Wise, I guess, if I had to choose, but I'd rather play those guys we talked about.
Yeah, so let's see. Kevin wants to – I'm playing 4 9K guys, 2 6K guys. Is that a unique build? I definitely think playing 4 9K guys in your build is going to be very unique today. So I don't mind that as a pivot for tournament.
If you play 3 6K guys too, you have a really good chance at being unique.
Yeah, 100%. Peter Yu or Wesley on FanDuel GPP.
Those are 2 of my favorite plays, honestly. Like if I had to rank the 6K guys, I think it would be Sammy Burns, those 2, and Wolf. Like 4 of my favorite 5.
This is FanDuel. This is
same difference though. Like for the most part, they're all priced similarly. Besides Seifert and Katayama, the rest
they're
of
200
them
apart. These 2, anyways, on FanDuel, so they're right there.
I mean, besides like you have to play Katayama on FanDuel and then just play one of those guys. But I think I'd rank it Wesley Bryan as far as those two.
And we both said we weren't on Wise, right? Because William had a question. I'm not on Wise. I don't know
I'm not going to be heavy on him. He could be one of my sprinkle guys where I play 5% of them or something.
Okay, let's see. Austin 37, Chesson Hadley ? So I don't mind Chesson Hadley at 6,800. Taking a shot on him. I'm not going to be like I'm not going to have a ton of him. What about you?
I can honestly say, like, I know this sounds like a cop-out, but we're taking huge stands at the top. We're playing Bryson. We're fading a ton of good guys. I can honestly say, like, I'm okay with almost anyone under 7K. I really am. Like, all those guys, if you feel a conviction on them, I'm fine with them. I really am.
I like it. Conviction. QQ, D's nuts, Hideki or Reed, FanDuel GPP. I know for sure Tony's going to say Hideki, and I will lean Hideki too.
We talked about that though. Like, honestly, like, so this is just me being honest. Like, I think I would play Hideki, but according to the numbers and the ownership, I think Patty Reed is the sharpest play. I'll say that, even though I don't think I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I will definitely have some Patty Reed. QQ, A1 Beast Mode, FanDuel Cash, Kitayama okay, and Cash.
On FanDuel?
On FanDuel.
Like, Katayama is a total lock. If he misses the cut, he was still a total lock. On FanDuel at 7,700, Katayama is the easiest. Him and Bryson are total locks.
Yeah, because it just opens up so much for you, especially on FanDuel. So
he's 50 to 1 to win the tournament, and he's 7,700. Like, total lock. I don't care if he. I mean, obviously, I want him to make the cut, but if he misses the cut, it doesn't mean he was a bad play. He is definitely a very good play.
We talk about, like, my guy Buzenhout, who was 60 to 1, and he's 9,600. Just to put just to put that into perspective, right there, for you guys. QQ, Sneds or Sabatini FanDuel GPP? I'm going Sneds. Tony, do you have a lean?
I'm definitely going Sabatini in that one.
Sabatini.
I don't ever play Snedeker. He's a great putter, but again, I made fun of the putting. Like, I literally don't care about putting. It sounds bad to say that. I'm choosing ball striking over putting every single day.
Yeah, no, makes sense. I just think there's upside at his price, but
I agree with you too. Like, he's shown really good numbers at this place too.
Matt Beck says Sneds even money versus Nah.
I mean,
that's
I would definitely.
I like Sneds anyway.
Like, I would definitely take Nah over Sneds if someone wants to give me even money. Like, I mean, Na's 35 to 1, Snedeker is 45. Like, if it's even, like, I definitely like Nah more than Snedeker. I'll put it that way.
I would take Sneds over Nah.
Well, we can get another 200, and we'll get our second 200. You want it?
There you go.
Are we in? 2 bets?
Yeah, we're in. You can have it. Boom, deal. 200. Let's go.
Love it.
Let's see.
We need a tiebreaker round now. We need one more in there.
Oh, geez. Reed or Hatton straight up? I'm going to go Reed. I have no interest in Hatton this week at that price jump. Tony, I'm assuming you're the same.
So the question they said was straight up, like, I think I'm taking Patty Reed even straight up, honestly. Like, even if they were the same price, if Hatton was the same price as Reed, I think I'd still take Reed. So give me Reed. I'm not playing Hatton. I don't like Hatton at all this week.
Okay.
How much would Hatton have to be for you to like him this week on DraftKings? What would his price have to be?
8,900.
I was going to say like 8,700. And he's 11. He's 10-7, right?
Yeah, he's 10-7.
Something like that? Yeah. Like,
yep. Let's see. Just a couple more. Thoughts on Sungjae. I know Tony touched on it. We both like Sungjae to bounce back this week. We think that, this is the perfect spot. Everyone's kind of off of him now. He's going to be in that 10 to 15% range, not in that 20 to 25, almost 30% range for ownership. So, and then again, weaker field. Like Tony talked about it. I know he did. Play Sungjae in weaker fields. Like, that's when you want to play him in the lower ownership. So, Anything else on Sanjay that I missed?
I just think that it's super clear for me. He was massive chalk last week. He's bumped up this week, but he's in a weaker field, and everyone's bumped up. No one's going to play him this week. It's just classic game theory to me. Like, he's not one of my favorite plays. He's not going to make my main team more than likely, but I do think he's a really good play, especially in the Millie Maker format.
All right, last question. D's nuts, Sabatini or Doc FanDuel GPP? I know I'm going Doc. Tony, who do you like? Because you like both these guys.
Yeah, I mean that's another one where it's super close for me, but I think I would take Doc. I mean, right now on my FanDuel build, my main team, I have Doc and Poston, but I'm kind of living in that range where I'm trying to decide which two good guys I want to play in that range. And I like Sabatini a ton. But again, he's kind of priced up a little bit. I feel way more comfortable with Poston than both of them, though.
Yeah. Yeah. We got one last one. JT, thoughts on Brian Stewart and Scott Stallings? So we both like Brian Stewart. Stallings is someone who's done us well in the showdowns the last couple of weeks, right, Tony? But I think it's someone who we both agree it's almost like everyone's catching on to him now, so we're going to kind of jump off for the large field GPPs just because he's going to be popular. Not to say he hasn't been playing great, because he obviously has been, but I definitely prefer Stewart. Tony, same thing.
Yeah, like we talked about Stallings a little bit during the show. I like him, but again, I really don't think there's any difference between him and the 6K guys. He's priced up to, I think, 7,400 without having it up, or somewhere in that range, low 7Ks. I just don't think he's even different than the guys in the 6Ks. So I'll just take the guys in the 6Ks.
Yeah, and Adam Hadwin was someone I know Tony brought up. I'm pretty sure you talked about how you just weren't a fan of him in the range where he was, like, comparable to the other guys in that 8K range, right, Tony?
Yep, he's one of the guys that I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards being like a safe type play. I'm not going to play Adam Hadwin. He won't be in my player pool.
Yeah. Let's see. So, guys, I think that's going to do it for us. If you haven't got over to runpuresports.com, make sure you get over there, check it out. Mangone is going to be in Discord answering all the QQ questions for the next hour or so. He does it every Wednesday for all the subs over at Run Pure Sports. So get over, sign up. We got the 25% code Independence Day promo going. So $90, that gets you all the way to August 31st. So make sure you get in there and like I said, check us out. But for me, JSU, Big T, we're out of here.